Om Namo Narayana. Namaste, Jai Swami Narayan. Welcome back. Today we are reading Chapter 5, Lord Rsabhadeva's teachings to his sons, and picking up the conversation that was introduced in the last video. My dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal, blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. Nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that, due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated by fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vyasadeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he is mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering all his interests around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse, and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic illusion of I and mine and becomes liberated. Thus one goes to the transcendental world. We've only done the first 9 verses, but I feel like this is a really good place to stop, because these 9 verses have said something so simple that we've heard 1,000 times, both in the Srimad Bhagavatam and in other texts. But yet it is the key. This attachment to the body, this attachment to sense gratification, this attachment to all this stuff weighs us down. It's like a hole in a ship. It sinks the ship. As I was reading this, I was thinking about a friend I used to have who lived in the big city and had a decent job, and he wasn't really a happy camper. He hadn't been in a relationship for a long time. The folks he was interested in never seemed to reciprocate. In the time that I knew him, I swear, and in the conversations we had, I swear he was living this sense gratification. And it was just, and in this thing, and in this thing. You know, there's a new restaurant, we should go to it. Really? Why? Well, you know, it's new, but isn't there like 1 million restaurants in this city and you haven't even been to half of them? Yeah, but, almost like going to this restaurant would bring him some divine moment. He was always going to shows, Broadway shows, whatever. Oh, I gotta go to this show. Really, why? Well, because people like it. Do you like it? Well, I don't know, it's not really my thing, but so why are you going? Well, people like it. Do you know those people? Does it matter what are you going to be showing off? Are they going to be applauding you because you arrived? What does it matter? Why are you going to a show you don't want to go to? It was almost like he was going to another show, hoping someday he would sit and watch the stage and something would happen, something would come out at him, and the spotlight would appear on him and life would change. I swear, that's what it was. Because I could never figure out why you would go to show after show after show when you weren't happy, when you weren't enjoying it, when you didn't even like the shows you were going to. I know after a while I stopped. I was living in New York City at one point, and I used to go to a lot of music stuff, and in the early days a lot of Broadway, and I found I really wasn't enjoying the theater a lot, and it just wasn't clicking, so instead I started going to music, and I didn't miss going to the theater. Every so often I'd see something and I would go, but I wasn't going to stuff just because they like it, or these people like it, or someone likes it. If I wasn't interested, I wasn't interested. What was the point? What was the point? But he could have sense gratification, so he was doing it, because that's all he had. And I remember, I think he kind of used to make a little fun of me because I was into like religious stuff. He thought it was cute. It was cute. But it kept me grounded, because I was like, well, I could go out and have sense gratification too. And sometimes I'd like to. I'm lonely and bored and whatever. But at the same time, the sense of emptiness that I will get from that, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It will just make me hurt more. It will be, I don't mean physical, but it'll be stressful, and then I'm stuck on the other side of town, and it's not worth it. I didn't do it, because deep down I knew there was something more, but my friend always seemed to be looking and looking and looking and looking, and I don't know if at the time I felt sorry for him, because I didn't. But I know now, today, a long time after the fact, he is still looking. He is still looking, and there's still this sense of, well, maybe if I do this, well, gosh, I don't know why after all these years nothing's happened. Well, because it says right here. And I wish I had read this so long ago when this friend of mine and I knew each other, because maybe I wouldn't have been able to share it with him. He wouldn't have cared. But I would have had that feeling in me explode. But I didn't read the scriptures. I didn't care about the scriptures. Teachers I was into didn't care about the scriptures, so I didn't know. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. And that may sound very stringent or snooty or, oh my goodness, you don't like anything. But no, it's just that these other things don't matter. And they have no value. And they don't liberate us. They just keep us going and going and going and going and going and going, and there's no bliss at the end of the tunnel. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a very dark tunnel. It says right here, this is the scripture. This is what it says, and it's true. I will vouch for it. I will absolutely vouch for it. Alright, next time we will start with verse 10 and continue our way through this. Thank you for listening to my story and listening to the scripture. Please put your thoughts, comments below and all that good stuff. And I shall see you later. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Swami Narayan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.